What's up, guys? Let's talk about 5 reasons why you should buy the Pixel 7 Pro. Very impressive phone this year. You probably heard a lot about this phone. A lot of people giving it its Smartphone of the Year award and stuff like that. And it is actually a very good phone. I was very impressed with this phone. So it really sparked my interest because there is a limited time deal going on right now. And it's actually just one of the cheaper flagship phones you can get right now that's actually under $1,000. So right now it's $750. 256, 850, which is pretty good because an iPhone 14 Pro will run you about $1,000. Galaxy S22 Ultra can easily go 1,000 plus. So definitely a really nicely priced, for the Pixel. So I want to talk about the first thing that I really love about the Pixel, and that is the stock Android experience. It is pretty much polar opposite of last year's Pixel 6 Pro. It came out with a lot of bugs, and the Pixel 7 Pro really has been bug free for the most part. Not only that, but I think this is one of the smoothest phones you could buy as far as the animations and as far as how fluid everything feels. It's definitely way faster than One UI for sure, and I think it just feels more fluid than the iPhone to me. And a lot of people might call me crazy fanboy or something like that, but I'm telling you guys, the Pixel is very smooth when it comes to performance and animations and stuff, especially again for an Android device. Just really buttery smooth when it comes to those animations. Also, one thing that you'll really like about stock Android is that it's very minimal. So it's pretty much the opposite of One UI. One UI has a lot of extra features, which you may or may not like. I really like some of the One UI features like DeX support and all that stuff. But Google, on the other hand, they kind of strip everything back, right? It's very bare bones, stock vanilla Android. And, a lot of people like that experience, right? So I'm definitely a fan of it. I really like how everything looks and how simple everything is. It's just not a lot of stuff being thrown at you. Again, which a lot of people might like. How they do the customization is also pretty neat, just how everything looks and works and stuff like that. So I really do like it. It's simple, it's easy to learn, and again, it's not overwhelming. One cool thing about the Pixel as far as the software is if I wanted to remove like a person in the photo with the magic eraser tool or just like an object, they make it very easy. Typically this is stuff that you would have to probably buy an app for or something like that, or use a third-party app, but it's built in with the Pixel software. You can see it tries its best to erase that, and I think it does a pretty good job using the AI to fill that in. Also, the recorder is pretty good. Hey, what's up guys, it's Matthew's Tech. Today we're going to check out the Pixel 7 Pro. And it just does a really good job with the transcription and stuff like that. Something that I really like. Like I said, it's scary accurate. And they just have a ton of like small little software stuff in here that just makes the Pixel just really nice experience. Also, the Google Now is pretty much integrated into this phone very heavily as well too. So if you're a big fan of using the Google Feed and the Google Search, the Google Voice and stuff like that, you'll really like the Pixel. Now next is definitely the cameras. The Pixel is always my favorite go-to phone when it comes to taking photos, and I think they nailed it this year. 50 megapixel standard and a 48 megapixel telephoto. It does 5x optical, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It does 4K 60, and then a 10.8 megapixel ultra wide, and then that is also a selfie cam, and it does 4K 60. Video has been improved on the Pixel from the 6 Pro, and also the photo quality just looks awesome on this phone. Like I said, one of my favorite phones to take photos with. So if I'm going somewhere and I know I'm going to take like a lot of photos, this is a phone that I'll definitely take. I just love the Google image processing that they do on here. I just think it's fantastic. Photos look really great. Great dynamic range, just really nice colors. Also, it gets skin tones pretty well. Google does a good job, especially with skin tones, people of color. It does a really good job with that. So I think the photos just look absolutely awesome. I compared it to iPhone 14 Pro, Galaxy S22 Ultra. A lot of people like the Pixel image processing, and like I said, I'm a big fan of it. It's really amazing. Like I said, one of my favorite phones to take pictures on. The night sight is pretty good as well too. So it's overall just a phenomenal camera when it comes to taking photos. Alright, so my third favorite thing is definitely the Google Tensor G2 chip on here. It does really good with performance on here. Like I said, I wouldn't pick this phone up necessarily for gaming. It does fine with gaming. Like I said, I think some of the other phones do a little bit better job with just straight up gaming performance. As far as getting the best optimized settings, the Snapdragon chips are just going to get better settings, I noticed, compared to the Tensor chip. But in general, I did drop a gaming test for this phone, and it did definitely fine with this phone. Play PUBG, Call of Duty Mobile. Fortnite kind of struggled with. But you have 128 gigs of internal storage, 12 gigs of RAM. And like I said, this phone does phenomenal when it comes to just general performance, flying in and out of apps. Gaming on here is fine. Like I said, no issues at all with the performance on here. So I think the Tensor chip is pretty good. And again, Google really focuses on like a lot of the AI stuff and all that good stuff. So of course, it's not going to beat these Snapdragon chips and stuff like that in performance. But like I said, it's plenty fine for what I think the average person is doing. So I didn't see like performance wise this phone being lackluster at all. Now the next thing is the display on the Pixel. So Google did a really good job on the display. So instead of giving us a dramatically curved display that was on the Pixel 6 Pro, it now is still curved, but it's not as curved as the Pixel 6 Pro. A lot of people like that move. It's a really nice display. So if you were getting accidental touches with the 6 Pro, you're definitely not getting them now with the 7 Pro. So it is an LTPO AMOLED display. It's 120 Hz HDR10 Plus. It's super bright at 1500 nits brightness. It's just a very bright, vibrant display. Like I said, silky smooth, 6.7 inches, very big phone, and it's 1440p, 512 for the PPI. It's an overall beautiful, top-notch quality display here, so I have no issues, watching content on this phone. Like I said, I do like the move that they made, basically, trimming down the curves on the phone, and I think it's really nice. You also have the punch hole in the middle, and you guys can see just the colors. And it's just a vibrant display. So I do really like the display. It looks really great. All right, so lastly, I want to talk about the additional features on here. So Google actually added Face Unlock this year. So this phone does have Face Unlock, which is pretty sweet. Also, the fingerprint scanner has been improved as well. So it's a little bit faster than last year's model as well too. You also have on here battery share on here, or reverse wireless charging on this phone, which is really sweet. And the speakers on this phone are definitely top notch. They're really loud with excellent bass. So guys, just really good bass on the speakers on the Pixel. You can hear all of the low bass notes. It's really impressive. They've always had really good speakers on Pixel phones. Also, just a touch on the design, it's not that much different from the Pixel 6 Pro, but I do like that it has its own unique look now. Pixel phones just look really unique with this camera bar on here, and like I said, I think it looks a little bit better than the Pixel 6 Pro, but you guys can let me know. Also, it's a glass and metal phone, and I like this white color because it doesn't pick up fingerprint skin or anything like that, and it just feels really comfortable. It's not too sharp in the hand, so it doesn't feel like it's cutting into the hand like the new iPhones. I do really like the design on here, and also battery life is just okay on this phone. It's got a 5,000 milliamp battery. It does 23-watt wired charger, and also has 23-watt wireless charging. Like I said, battery life is okay. I can definitely get a full day out of here, but it's really nothing too impressive. The only benefit I noticed with the battery life, or the only change I noticed, is that standby time is a little bit better on the 7 Pro compared to the 6 Pro. That's pretty much it. It's a very impressive phone. Excellent cameras, really fast, super smooth, pretty decent battery life on here. Beautiful design and screen. I mean, there's just a lot to like about the Pixel. So be sure to let me know, what do you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.